Hello out there, all you wonderful people. This is Andre, the Game Idea Guy. Thank you once again for lending me your time and your ear and listening into another 3DS Game Ideas video. And this time I'm going to be talking about Zombies Ate My Neighbors, which is a game developed by Konami back in the day for the Genesis and the SNES. I was kind of going really fast right there. I needed to take a breath. But Zombies Ate My Neighbors was a really fun game back in the day, and I enjoyed it a lot. I mean, I didn't own it. I always played it over at my friend's house. And no, this is another old school game I never actually beat. It's not that this was hard. It was more or less that it was long and tedious at certain points. Sometimes you got to the point where you just like, you're running around and there's only one person to be saved, and you can't find that one person because their characters might have just walked off to somewhere where you can't reach them. And that was annoying as hell because that did happen a lot, at least when I was playing it. But putting on the 3DS, there's a couple advantages you get. You can take the HUD from the right side of the screen, you can put it down on the bottom. It would display all of the weapons that your character is currently carrying with the ammo that each one of them has. And you can use the touchscreen to pick each weapon. That you can use use the touchscreen to individually pick your weapons really quickly. That way you don't have to cycle through with the buttons if you don't want to. It could have your health at the upper left-hand corner of the screen. The weapon that you are currently using at the top right-hand corner of the bottom screen. Yeah, and I know my crudely done picture is just like right there for you guys to see. Sorry, I don't have gameplay of this game. The radar can be at the bottom of the screen right there in the middle, and then the number count for the amount of people who have to be rescued in the level, or those that are still remaining in the level, would be available as well. What I would do is update that counter though, so that you have 3 colors. White would be at the far right, then the total number of people to rescue in the level. Then to the left of that, I'd make it blue, which would be the number of people who have been zombified or killed in the level. And then to the left of that, which I would make that number like gold or something, that would be the number of people you have rescued. Like both of the two numbers in the middle and the left should equal the number on the right. So there shouldn't be any confusion. But that's about it. That's the only real change I would make to that. Or also allow for you to, if you get stuck and the radar is showing that there is someone available to you, but you don't know how to reach them, you can tap on them, and on your main screen it will give you a guide to where you can go to reach them. That way you don't get stuck in a level not able to find the one person that you like, you know where they are, you know about where they are, but you can't find the path to get to them. That happened to me a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that kind of happened to me a lot, because there are some paths that just aren't very visible. They're very well hidden. Aside from that, add in online multiplayer, allow people to be able to play with a friend, or I mean, you can play with randoms, but most people probably prefer to play with a friend. Then add local wireless play, which allows somebody to download a copy of the game, and then they can take up the second player slot and the other character that you're not using. Make sure that the character's health on the bottom screen when you're playing in 2-player mode, that their health is different colors, so that you don't confuse your partner's health with your own. This will also allow for players to be able to separate from each other to take on tasks individually. So if it's something that each person knows that they can handle by themselves, they can go ahead and play. They can go ahead and separate from their partner and be like, hey, look, I'm going to go over here and get these people rescued real quick. You head off and do those, and then we'll meet back up in the middle for the larger group that's a little bit harder to take on. That would actually make a lot of those levels go a lot quicker, because you could be more efficient that way. Which I think that would actually be fun to be able to do it that way. I'd enjoy that. What else was I going to say? Now, this isn't a must, but they can add in like little, like behind the scenes stuff as far as like developing the game, or even just like add in like a battle mode where you're just taking on like supernatural enemies and zombies until you basically run out of lives and items and health. Or I mean, they can make it sort of like a gauntlet where you can take out a few of them at a time, and then as you progress through levels, it ramps up the difficulty, which actually would work out really well. It would be nice and cool. The only other thing I could say, they could possibly add in more characters. It's not a must, but something like this I think would benefit from having 2 additional characters added in, and you could make it a 4-player game instead of just being 2. I mean, they could literally be palette swaps of the characters that are currently in the game anyhow. Those palette swaps with different names. They don't have to be anything spectacular, because like the characters don't control any differently from each other when you play anyhow. So doing that could just allow for more people to be able to play. At least that's just what I'm thinking. I mean, again, it doesn't have to be done, but it would be something that would be nice if it was done, and it can make the game more enjoyable. And it could also set up the levels to ramp up the difficulty depending on the number of people that are available to play. Say there would be more people to rescue and harder zombies to face. They could do that. I would be okay with that, to be honest. Like, I'd be perfectly fine with that. But that's really it. There's not a whole lot that they would really need to change about this game to make it any better, because it's already a fun game. There are just a few enhancements that would add to its playability and replayability that could make it more fun than I think, which I already talked about anyhow, that I think Konami could do. But yeah, there's nothing else to really talk about, so that's it for me. Thank you guys very much for listening. Keep your eyes and ears out for more stuff from me, and until the next time, please enjoy your games, and peace out.